These are excerpts from poems that I've written about ticket stubs or like experiences that require ticket stubs. Okay, there are 7 of them in case you're like a nervous person. Bullet train. I know, I lit up in the dining car, ignored the sign hanging over the door, the attendant drying a glass. I filled up and spat out the window. Nowadays, I always spit out trains, ask street vendors for directions. It was waiting on the rail to be out that did me in the first place. How late everything was, slats of steel lying all over. I had forgotten how long I too was scrap metal, waited to be picked up by some guy with gloves on. He put me in his car, drove me around a while. It's not like anything happened. Maybe the attendant glared as I blew smoke out the window. I think I'm still angry because it's all true. Like I said, this beach is terrible. The sand is all wet. It falls out of my hand in chunks. Like I said, the tide grazes the concrete most nights, and the sand, it's always wet. You can't build things on it. Conductor. Oh, beautiful train man, I'm sorry I was difficult to direct well. It so happens tonight I couldn't tell the difference between a tiger and a ticket on account of the dirty smoke in my eyes, which were already bad from squinting every time I saw a movie and paused before kisses. Who could have guessed you can't stop love from leaving your mouth in the first place? It's not like an extreme close-up of an insect wing, more like waking up far past your stop, forgetting briefly in the yellow light of a rail car. Anyways, that's not me anymore. Me back when I fell in love with film stars. I dreamt tigers would blind me. Now I speak obscenities like, the movies never get anything right, and the Greeks say the blinding happens off screen, and if the director winks at you, you're bound to be traveling far soon. I guarantee it. Blockbuster. That summer, the summer of grainy restorations and Technicolor westerns you projected in our basement, you said, let's watch a movie, and me, I dreamt I crouched on a rooftop corner, ears pink and cape ballooning in a passing wind. And truly, people were strange enough to think I was the troublemaker. I swear my every destruction was incidental to the saving. You were the one always barging into dinner with a Colt pistol in hand. Cue the record scratching, everyone's forks clinking down. Sometimes you played Lone Ranger, and I was the girl who stood in line to sit in the dark and watch you show down at high noon. Wasn't there a train that needed to be stopped? Forget it. We're all history. Everything your Mustang remembered, it carried away in its mouth, or the desert buried forever. I didn't queue to watch a girl lose her fingers waiting on a man with a horse. How unlucky. You saw the train and said, watch, but my eyes were closed, anticipating impact. Audition tape. Back when I starred in a television show, I turned down jobs like this. I wore gold-plated necklaces. Ugh, I hate small local plays. The way everyone handles me so carefully. I understand I'm old and have outgrown many parts. Dorothy, Wednesday, and no, don't tell me. I already know I can't be Telemachus, though, like him, I am a far cry from battle ready. We can edit this part out in post. The part where I go and forget my lines. Was it, oh, to unweave the work I've done nightly, to throw apples at men and hope they are satisfied. Myself, I'd never trade cattle for anyone's hand. How long before the microphone's ready? If anything, let's get this part right. Carnival Games. Because you were a camera assistant and had a thing for old stuff like records and Super 8, I figured it could be fun to take you to the beach town to record ourselves on the pier. It was late fall, and we were a preview for an indie movie if it weren't for all the kids running around and getting sick on the tilt-a-whirl. In this framing, what are the odds that you walk back alone in fog? I thought we decided to rap on the Ferris wheel, completely still but lit up. But you kept going, even though the director yelled, "Cut." I'm disappointed. I never expected to win a giant stuffed tiger. I only ever wanted greasy food and to see myself hold up a camera to the track of some sweaty kid covering Sinatra. I hate this, but I want it. The sand, the truncated breaths of the salt tide, and one last rack focus away from the two bodies, blurry and shrinking behind black rocks. Kinetoscope, after D.A. Powell. Watching Buster Keaton find stolen pearls on the big screen, I remember you sour for days after all 3 times I had to cancel my tickets to Pennsylvania. He's a projectionist, dreaming up his own film, and you know me, always looking for parts of us on screen. I hate to envy a thing pristine and hard to reach too. Forest snow I can only see en route to Pittsburgh, the last frame of a spool of film wound tight. Imagine me on a red-eye straight to you, the sun projecting around the plexiglass window as I pull into Union Station. We need more movies like this. I get why you think Catherine McGuire greedy, but she worked hard to clear Buster's name. Their bodies inched so close on the Chesterfield, but carefully, never touched. I'm still looking, but there's something wrong with the print. All I see are unwashed oysters, things I want to slice in half, things to chew and spit. This is the last one. Sleight of hand. I'm feeling dizzy and you're making whole bodies disappear under a trick stage. The matinee crowd loves you. Girls are falling out of their theater seats, and how impatient I am to leave the show before it's done, before you even take a bow. A few years ago, I watched A Street Magician, and you are not at all like him. He took his time, showed me the backs of his hands. I need an aspirin. The way you handle doves reminds me of someone throwing snow in the air after having given up. It's all so dramatized. The rubber saw, the fake birds. Houdini hid his keys in jail soap. Penn and Teller shot with special wax bullets. In a way, it's my own fault. Once, I watched a man hold a burning sheet of paper. He let the ash fall on the sidewalk. His palms were so clean. How could I not believe him? Thank you.